Good evening. We are so glad to have you back with us this second Tuesday of the month. And obviously you're here and we've got an excellent program for you tonight. We're going to have some information about GriefShare. We're going to have some information about the Veteran Service Organization. And we're going to have information about moving the county seat. And we're going to end up with prostate cancer information. So we want you to take your pens, get your paper, and take a lot of notes, because we're going to be moving very rapidly through all this information. So tonight we have Pete Giordano, and he's going to talk about GriefShare. He was on once before. He was on in October, and he gave a lot of information, and we're asking him to come back to give us an update on what's been happening since our last show. So Pete, welcome again to the show, and thank you for coming. Tell us about GriefShare, what it's all about.
Okay, going back to your previous show, I did mention quite a few things about GriefShare. GriefShare is a grief support group. The objective is to help people recover from their grief so they can get on with their lives.
Okay.
It consists of three components: a video. After the video, a discussion where we discuss the video and how it relates to the people that are grieving.
Okay.
And also a workbook. This workbook right here, and this they journal in.
Okay. Now, looking at that, yeah. Okay.
There is a registration fee of $15, and it includes the workbook. If the person cannot afford the $15, we have a scholarship fund. We'll take the money out of there and we'll pay for it.
So everybody gets a workbook?
Everyone gets a workbook.
That's great, okay.
We do have a superb core of GriefShare facilitators and pastor, Jack and Joetta Walsh, which were friends of my wife Ann and I, Pastor Ron Fairburn, who goes way beyond what we expected of him. And I would say if there was a Hall of Fame for pastors, he would get in on the first ballot.
I agree with you completely. Everybody knows Pastor Ron, and he is doing so much in our community.
Oh,
we think the world of him.
I love the man. He's just been an inspiration to all of us. We finished our first cycle.
Okay.
We extended it a week for a uplifting celebration.
Well, let me ask you, in the first cycle you had, how many people did you have?
We have 32 people registered.
Okay.
We average approximately 15 per session.
Okay.
Some repeat, depending on the depth of their grief.
Oh, I could understand that.
And
okay.
we also get new people. We've had someone come from as far as Indian Springs.
Oh, okay.
And we are outreaching to the entire community.
If somebody was interested in finding out more about GriefShare beyond what we're going to give tonight, how could they find out?
You can go on the internet.
Okay.
And you type in GriefShare.org.
GriefShare.org. Okay.
It'll come to GriefShare's website. It'll ask your zip code. You type that in, and it'll ask find a group.
Okay.
You click on that, and Central Valley Baptist Church will come up on the screen.
That's easy. GriefShare.org.
GriefShare.org.
Okay, that's easy. And how about phone numbers?
Phone numbers, well, there we go.
On the screen, we have a number that you call to register.
Yes. There's 3 numbers to call to register.
Okay.
They're all local 775 exchanges.
Okay.
910-9995.
Okay.
The second, 775-751-1804.
Okay.
And my number, they can call me directly.
Okay.
775-727-0967.
And those numbers were placed on the screen, so hopefully they've got their pens and paper to write down that information.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Like I say, we did have a celebration, and we had a karaoke, Christian karaoke.
Okay.
The church has Christian karaoke every third Friday, and so the pastor set up karaoke for us. We had live entertainment provided by myself and Jim Thompson. We had potluck.
Oh, always love food.
It was great.
But I have to ask, because you said Christian karaoke,
Right.
is this non-denominational, or is it only certain denominations?
GriefShare is non-denominational.
Beautiful, okay.
It doesn't matter if you're Christian or not. If you've lost a loved one, you're more than welcome.
That's what GriefShare is all about, okay.
And finally, in our celebration, we had helium-filled balloons. And we wrote our loved ones' names on them.
Okay.
We went outside, Pastor Fairbairn said a prayer, and then we released the balloons to the heavens.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So it was very uplifting.
Okay.
We are starting we did start our second cycle in November.
And how long is the cycle again?
It's 13 weeks.
13 weeks, okay.
But we started this particular cycle because it was so close to the holidays with a session called Surviving the Holidays.
That is so important, because when you lose someone and you're so used to sharing the holidays with them and they're no longer here, surviving the holidays, that's perfect, yes.
Well, this was my first holiday without my wife.
Okay.
And it was a great help. It helped. As a matter of fact, it was really accepted well by all of the participants there. It was very important, and we're going to do that every year. Before the holidays, we'll have a Surviving the Holidays session.
Oh, I think that's outstanding. And I noticed, too, that we have a lot of veterans out there that have difficulty, not so much GriefShare, but just surviving the holidays. So for people grieving, I think it's very important to have something like that.
It is, and it will help them to get through the holidays.
Outstanding, okay.
We do have guidelines for the participants. Of course, not everyone is required to speak.
Okay.
Some people are shy, some people are too deep in their grief, but they can be helped by listening to others share their stories. And the most important guideline, though, is what is said in this room stays in this room.
Beautiful, okay. Confidentiality, very important.
That's right.
Okay.
We have a training program for facilitators. It's very comprehensive. This is their training book and a video.
That's if they want to be a facilitator?
If they want to be a facilitator.
Okay.
And the requirements are they must be a layperson that has recovered from losing a loved one, so that they can empathize with the participants in the group.
And I was going to ask that question, but I'm glad you answered it, because they've already got the background. They've gone through GriefShare. They understand what the process is all about.
Exactly.
So being a facilitator, having that background, that's outstanding.
And we are in the process of training 4 volunteers right now.
Okay.
And they can spell Jack and Joetta Walsh. The facilitators that we have now are from the congregation at Central Valley Baptist Church.
Okay.
But we do accept outsiders from other churches also.
Okay.
Long as they follow or in the qualifications of having recovered from losing a loved one and are a layperson.
Now, this is an outstanding program. I am so impressed by the things that you've already accomplished. So what else do you have? You're going to be starting, you've already started the new group. It's
Right,
going
we're
for,
in our 5th week right now.
and it's going for how many weeks again?
13,
13 weeks. Then you're going to have the time for celebration.
and another week for celebration again.
So if somebody wanted to be in a group and they've already missed this group, when should they prepare to start with the group?
Okay, most important is that these weekly sessions are self-contained. So they won't miss anything if they come in at the 5th week, 6th
Oh,
week.
that's even better. So they don't have to wait until the end
Right.
of the entire session, since each session is, I guess, into itself.
Right.
So they can start right away. And
Anytime.
When do you meet?
Saturdays, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. every Saturday
Where?
at Central Valley Baptist Church.
And that's located where?
It's 3170 Blag at the corner of Lexus and Blag, and it's 1 mile north of Gameburg.
Okay. I think everybody can find that. The program itself is so outstanding. It's available, and if you're grieving now's the time to be there.
Exactly.
Oh, this is good. And you've given the phone numbers of how they can contact you. We're going to ask that they be put back on the screen again so that people know the phone numbers to call. And that's why I keep saying, be sure that you have pen, paper to write down a lot of this information, because we're going to be going through this information pretty fast. Now, in winding down, Pete, is there anything else you'd like to say to our audience?
Well, a couple things. When I was on your show previously, I said that if we could help one person recover from their grief, it would be a success. Mm-hmm. Well, after our first 13-week session, we didn't have one person. We helped 5.
5.
5
Outstanding.
people. 5
Okay.
people that have recovered, getting on with their lives, and do not attend GriefShare any longer.
Oh, this is beautiful.
But my plea would be, if you have lost someone, or you know someone,
We're going to tell them right now, if you know someone, contact GriefShare. You've got the numbers, you've got the information. And we'd like to say thank you for listening to us today, and stand by.
and thank you.